Today, we're going to dive into a story that played out right in front of everyone. A story about sudden violence, a really desperate search, and a family that found themselves caught in a truly impossible situation.
It's a huge question, right? One we don't really think about much. But it is at the absolute center of this entire story. We're going to unpack what that question really meant on one specific day and in all the days that followed.
Okay, so picture the scene. Utah Valley University. You've got a lively atmosphere, a big crowd of about 3,000 people there for a speech. Everything is totally normal. Until suddenly, it's not. A sharp, loud crack cuts through the air. Then another one, and a third. In just an instant, all that confusion turns to pure fear, and the entire event just descends into chaos. Now, to really get what happened here, we're gonna start with a phrase you've probably used yourself. You know, maybe when you're moving house. But in this story, it takes on a much, much darker meaning. So when we say a lease is up, it just means a contract's over. It's done, time to move on. It signals an end. Pretty straightforward. But what happens when the lease is up on a life? The person at the center of this was Charlie Kirk. He's a well-known conservative activist, especially for his work getting young people interested in politics. But on this day, he wasn't just a speaker. He was the target of a planned attack. From a rooftop 150 yards away, a shot was fired. It was sudden, and it was devastatingly effective. As you can imagine, what happened next was a massive, massive response. The mission was crystal clear. Find whoever did this, and find them ASAP. And just to show you how serious this was, authorities put up a reward right away. $100,000 for any information that could lead them to the shooter. They needed every eye and every ear they could get. And wow, did the public respond. The scale of this investigation was just immense. The FBI, local police, they were flooded with information, following up on over 7,000 different tips from people all over the country. You know, this manhunt was the very definition of ASAP. We're talking more than 20 different law enforcement agencies, all working together around the clock with one single-minded goal: solve this case as soon as possible. But here's the thing. While this huge public search was going on, the actual key to this entire mystery was about to be found in a quiet, private, and absolutely terrifying way. So way down in southern Utah, a father is just watching the news. He sees the images of the suspect, that black t-shirt, the baseball cap. He watches the footage of the man jumping from the roof, and this cold, horrible feeling starts to creep in. The guy's build, the way he moves, it's all just familiar. Too familiar. And he realizes he's not just looking at some random suspect on TV. He thinks he's looking at his own 22-year-old son, Tyler. I mean, can you even imagine having to ask that question? He finds his son, and he asks the words that are about to change their entire world. Tyler, is this you? This looks like you. And yep, he got the answer he was dreading. Tyler admitted it. He confessed to his dad that he was the one. But then, right after that bombshell, he adds this awful threat. He says he would rather kill himself than be turned in. And just like that, the family is trapped in this impossible, horrifying dilemma. And that leads us to the final and most agonizing part of this whole manhunt. A decision that wasn't made in some police headquarters, but inside a family's own home. Just try to think about what this family was going through. First, you get hit with this unbelievable confession. Then you're just paralyzed by this terrible threat he's made. And finally, someone has to make a choice. Realizing how serious this all was, a family friend made an incredibly difficult, but incredibly brave decision to pick up the phone and get help. And this is where it all comes together, that one single phone call. It was like the key that unlocked everything for the investigators. Suddenly, they had a name, and with that name, they could finally connect all the dots. The security footage, the palm prints and shoe print from the roof, even online messages they'd found. It all pointed to one person. And after more than 30 long hours, the manhunt was over. Tyler Robinson was arrested. The next morning, it was official. Utah's governor, Spencer Cox, made the announcement. Just 3 simple words that sent this huge wave of relief across the state and, really, the whole country. We got him. You know, when you look back, this case wasn't just solved by police work and evidence. It was solved by a family's agonizing choice between loving their son and doing what was right.
And it leaves all of us with a really tough question to think about. When you are faced with a choice that feels impossible, where there are no good answers, how do you find the right path?